All right, let's talk about Joe Burrow. Turns out he is still good at football. That was just kind of a bad start to the year. Probably was just injured to start the year, and I thought too much was made of that anyway, if you watched my videos back then. But even with that, I mean, this was a great performance by him, even forgetting about the rough start to the season. If this happened in the middle of last season, we'd all be talking about this as a great Joe Burrow performance. Let's talk about what he did that was so well done. Starting off with a running play. Not a handoff, but a running play, a quarterback draw, which this is probably my favorite play in football. I don't know why. I just love a good quarterback draw. I think it's a really underrated play, can really benefit your team where, again, typically on a 3rd down and 9, you have 4 players who are going to be rushing the passer, all of which are going to be very focused on rushing the passer, right? You're not expecting a handoff. There's not even a halfback on the field, or excuse me, there is, but not in the backfield. So obviously, you're just going to go all out to pass rush, and because of that, the offensive line can pretty easily get you out of the way. Also, you have 5 offensive linemen, so you get an extra blocker to go up and block a linebacker, and then you just have all of your other receivers stay away from the middle of the field. As you see, Burrow takes the snap, immediately runs forward, and right here, the play is mostly working, but there is the way that it can fail, right? And this is the downside of this, is if a safety can read the play quickly, they can try to come over and, make a play and stop you short of the first down. It's an issue for 2 reasons. 1, you want to get the first down, and 2, you don't want your quarterback to get hit. So that's the disadvantage, and I have to imagine Joe Burrow week 1 was not going to be having any designed runs. However, here you see him make a move. He gets past the first down marker. Great stuff there from Joe Burrow. Really great stuff from Joe Burrow to be able to do that. And it also, good play calling by Zach Taylor, who, I've said some mean things about in the past. I haven't always been a fan of his stuff, but I thought he was very good calling plays in this game. And almost more than any of that, it just, if you're a Bengals fan, it makes you feel like, okay, yeah, Joe Burrow is back. Joe Burrow is healthy. They're running designed runs here. Feels like he's pretty good. Also, this play was just, what a throw this one was, where it's going to be a zone coverage play that the 49ers are in. You see the route, going to try and get into a gap in coverage. However, when Burrow takes the snap, he looks over in that direction, and okay, is there a gap to make this throw? Kind of, but not a big one at all. This is going to have to be a really accurate throw from Joe Burrow. And as you see, it is right on the money. They do get the first down. Really good stuff there from Joe Burrow to be able to pull that off. Not a big window whatsoever. Perfectly timed. I mean, those are really difficult plays. I feel like when you're watching the game, you don't always view them as like that difficult, right? Usually the ones that get everyone crazy are like the deep shots and things like that. But these are really tough to pull off, and Joe Burrow makes them look easy. Again, a play like this is just something that's been in his toolbox for his entire career that really wasn't for these first few weeks, and I do think that there was some, this is part of the issues here, where what's going to happen is this is a man coverage play. It's cover 2-man. That's what the 49ers are doing right here, right? Because you got to play 2 safeties deep against this team. You can't let T. Higgins or Jamar Chase get one-on-one matchups down the field, so you got to play 2 safeties deep. They're playing cover 2-man, going all out to stop the pass. It makes sense. Watch as Burrow's going to take the snap. He's going to, pretty much immediately start to scramble, right? He sees the man coverage. He knows that it's an opportunity where he can scramble, and let's just be honest, pressure gets there pretty quickly, which is something that is something that, let's just say, Joe Burrow isn't exactly unused to having pressure, right? He knows how to handle it. Watch as he is going to scramble out, and not only does he pick up the first down, he picks up more than that. Takes the hit at the end there. Don't know if I want to see him doing that in, week 7, week 8, right? You can do that. I don't know. If it's the playoffs, go ahead. Take those hits. Right now, don't need you to take that hit there. I'm assuming he's thinking, hey, big game against San Francisco. Let's make something happen. And you do love it if you're a Bengals fan, but you also will wince a little bit and make sure you don't celebrate until you see him get up and be fine, which luckily he was. But again, it's a good play. Mobility is a big part of his game that I think is often not talked about enough, so it's good to see that he was able to do it. Also, heading over here, this was a clever concept. Again, giving credit to Zach Taylor. Really, a lot of clever offensive play calls in this one. It's going to be set up as though it is a quick wide receiver screen here. However, then they're going to have a player, who looks like he's going to be blocking actually run further down the field. That player is Jamar Chase, who, I've said this with Travis Kelce, and I feel like it needs to be said about every elite player. Jamar Chase, if he looks like he's blocking, don't worry about it. Still make sure you cover him. Don't worry about if he's blocking on a play, cool. You'll take that. Because watch how when this play begins, you do see how, kind of sells as though he's just running a decoy route. When he finally gets further, at this point, he has a step. And if he has a step, he has 5 steps, right? Watch as he just blows by San Francisco defender trying to cover him, and trying is the correct word there. I mean, Ja'Marr Chase is amazing. Ja'Marr Chase is awesome. You don't need to put Ja'Marr Chase in a good situation for him to succeed. He can succeed in any situation, but when he's getting put in good situations to succeed, it's game over, and that's what we saw on that play. And again, Burrow, give him credit, made the throw. That one wasn't his toughest throw, but still. You have to be able to hit the layups, right? And that's what he was able to do on something like that. Also, something like this, again, more of a traditional play, but still an important one. And still, if you're moving the ball down the field in traditional plays, that's almost even more exciting. Again, it's kind of one of those things where this game sort of felt like a blowout in a sense. The Bengals did kind of feel like they handedly had it for most of the game. But, I mean, we're still 6 minutes left in the game, a one-score game. Like, they had to still keep going offensively to make sure that they were going to win. The Bengals did. And on this play, Chase is trying to get into a gap in coverage. Watch how Joe Burrow's going to take the snap. He looks down the field. He fires down the field. And again, it's open, but it's not wide open. I mean, you could look at some of the box scores and say, oh, wow, the 49ers defense didn't play well. They got lit up. Really, I didn't think they played that poorly. There were some mistakes for sure, but I thought a lot of this was just Cincinnati, being in situations like this. You got to make a tough throw here. And that's going to be exactly what Burrow does. Good catch by Chase. Good throw from Burrow, picking up that chunk play there. These are just the kind of things they were just doing so consistently. And again, that's a scary thought if you are someone who is not a Bengals fan. If you're a Chiefs fan, or if you're a Dolphins fan, or a Bills fan, or a Ravens fan, whatever, you're nervous about this. And I mean, one of the issues with Cincinnati is, the beginning of the season was the beginning of the season. You put yourself in a hole, and it's going to be hard to get the 1 seed now, right? In fact, it's very possible you might have to win out to get the 1 seed. That's legitimately on the table. But I don't know. It's one of those weird situations where you're a game and a half out of the division, but you're also a game and a half out of the 1 seed right now. But there's 4 teams that are tied for the 1 seed in the AFC. Every division winner is 6-2, which is just interesting. But as a whole, there's definitely a lot to like about the Cincinnati team. And I think that, there were 2 concerns, right? There was the initial concern of, hey, like, we're losing football games. Will we be able to rebound? And then there was the concern of, hey, we're losing football games. Are we not that good of a team, perhaps? I think what we see here is that number 2 is not true. They are a very good team. They just happen to lose some games. But now you got to, make up for the hole you put yourself in early on, which... If they're going to play like this, they absolutely will. So, yeah, those are my thoughts. But what do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And, of course, as always, thanks for watching.